Well, folks, as I'm sure you know by now, Djokovic beat Federer last night in the Australian Open semifinals. So I'm going to give my reaction to that. I'm going to explain some of the things that happened during the match that frustrated me, what I thought about them, things I said during our live stream, our match companion that we did. And I'm just going to get into some of the stats and what happened and what this means going forward for Djokovic and Federer in this reaction to the semifinals of the Australian Open match between Federer and Djokovic. Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Welcome to the slice.
Well, thanks for being here, folks, and I'm going to give my quick reaction to this match. As a lot of you saw, you tuned in last night, or you saw the replay of my match companion live stream last night. That is a feature on the slice that I do sometimes that we'll watch it with you guys, and a lot of you said it was really fun, which I had fun doing it. And I want everyone to know, Djokovic fans, Rafa fans, Federer fans, that it's very obvious that I'm a Federer fan, and when we're doing Match Companion, I'm not really a commentator. I'm more of just a fan. So I'm very biased. I don't claim to not be in those videos. And, you know, things get a little heated. That's why I might have got a little childish in there, calling Djokovic a name at the end. And I'll explain that later. But I don't really have to explain myself because we're just watching the match together. If you're a Djokovic fan, you're welcome. If you're a Rafa fan, you're welcome. If you're a Fed fan, you could join me in the pain of watching our man go down last night like a hero at the hands of Djokovic, who did well, answered the bell, showed up, and got it done. So make sure tomorrow is our giveaway for one of these Slice shirts for free if you haven't already got one. Follow at the Slice Tennis. That's the only way you're going to be able to see the rules for the giveaway, and then you can participate in it. I appreciate you guys' support so much. Join the Front Row Show in the Patreon link below. So what happened last night was Federer showed up to this match. The question for everyone, and including me, was he going to recover from the groin injury he had during the Sandgren match, which was obviously a struggle for him to get through. Was he going to show up healthy or was he going to show up hurt? My opinion was if he showed up fine somehow, he would have had a great chance in this match. It would have been basically equal because I said in the last few meetings, it's not like Djokovic is dominated, and I think Federer's figuring out how to play him, kind of like he figured out how to play Nadal a lot more post-2017. But he didn't show up right. You could kind of tell right from the beginning that he wasn't bouncing around as much as he wanted. He wasn't moving the way he wanted, but the first set did start well in his favor because Djokovic showed up, and afterwards Djokovic's comments explained this, but Djokovic was watching Federer more than he was kind of focusing on his own game to see his movement. He could tell that he wasn't moving right, and lots of times that just is a mental relaxer for the person who's slightly injured because it means you just play with no kind of like expectation. You just focus on hitting the ball as good as you can, and the person opposing that is like, I should win now, and it kind of gives you more pressure. I think we saw a bit of that at the beginning of the match. Federer jumped out, broke Djokovic, or struggled to hold right away, and then broke Djokovic, and then got broken back, but then broke Djokovic back. So Federer broke Djokovic twice after Djokovic had been holding serve in the previous matches like easily. So that was a bit of a weird start to the match. Federer was hitting great shots, showing lots of great skill. You could tell, though, he wasn't moving quite the way he wanted to. But he still was making, like, if you're playing 80%, a guy like Federer is still going to be able to hit amazing shots and hit lots of winners. Hit 8 aces in the first set. Anyways, went up 4-1, couldn't get that other break, and then served for it at 4-5 and got broken. Went to a tiebreaker. Djokovic won, which is a huge mental win thing for him. Federer got tighter even more with his movement in the second set, and Djokovic even played even better. Still a close set, though, and Djokovic won that 6-4. And then the third set, Djokovic continued to improve and got more ruthless, winning that one 6-3 by one break. So the match went as we basically expected. My prediction was that Djokovic was going to win, but it was kind of disappointing to see it go this way. But I was still grateful to watch an amazing match. Nonetheless, even though Federer was hampered, we got to see Djokovic and Federer play, and I will never take that for granted because both are all-time greats, and it's luxury. It's literally luxury for us to be able to watch. So that's why I went to bed at about 8:30 p.m., 9 p.m. my time, woke up at 12:30, watched the match, went back to bed, and then woke up for work. That's what we're doing here on the site. That's how into it we are, because you can't miss matches like these between the GOATs anymore because we don't know how many more we're going to get. So congrats to Djokovic. The reason I got a bit pissed off at him at the end was because I thought he was being a bit childish with he was getting frustrated at the beginning of the match because he was not playing his best because Federer's kind of like what was going on in the whole theme of the match was throwing him off. But then there was points where like Federer, he was clearly walking away with this match. Federer was not, he was like literally hitting open stance, slap backhands, and then coming in after it and not really reaching for the pass. Like it was like practice level at certain points during that match. And then Djokovic would miss like a shot that he was never going to make anyways, or if he did, it would have been like kind of fluky, and then get like mad and yell at his box. And at one time, Federer looked over the net, was just kind of like, what are you doing, man? And I was like, that's wanker. And then the crowd was in it like they always are. The crowd's rooting for Federer because he's, shocker, the more popular player. And then at the end of the match, Djokovic kind of like celebrates really loudly and like gives like the finger wag to the crowd. I just thought that was just a bit whack. Like when he saw John Millman beat Federer in the 2018 U.S. Open when Federer was clearly hampered, Millman kind of just put his head down, went to the net, and shook his hands and like reveled in that match win. Obviously, it's different. There's rivalry. There's hurt on Djokovic's side, but I just thought it was a bit dusty, so I said that. But then Federer or Djokovic did redeem himself after the match, saying respect to Federer for coming out and even playing and moving. And he admitted at the end that at the beginning he was a bit distracted by Federer's movement. So a lot of you, I want you fans to know that you guys are totally welcome on the slice. Obviously, I had a great time watching it, even with the trolls. But I'm gonna give I'm gonna watch the match as a fan in those matchup companions, and I'm gonna try and give my more well-rounded reactions in the actual slice show. So that's what's going on. It was a great match to watch, even though because there was a lot of weird themes in it. Some amazing shot making from both guys. Djokovic played really good in that first set tiebreaker, hit a return winner on the set point, drop shot before that. Crazy stuff. Federer said afterwards that today was horrible, if he was just being honest. He said he walked in there in his mind with about a 3% chance to win, which is weird to come from a 20-time Grand Slam champ. That just showed, and he just admitted that he wasn't ready physically showing up at that match. He also said after, and this is a lot more than Federer's talked about injuries in the past, and he said he could have played better, but he also could have played a lot worse throughout the whole tournament, I think he said. And then he was saying before the match started with his team, he had decided that today could be maybe his first retirement ever in his career, retiring partway through a match. If the pain got too much, if he felt like it was going to damage the rest of his season, he would have pulled out, but he didn't. So he said he's going to be ready for Match for Africa, hopefully Dubai, things like that going forward. Now going forward for Djokovic, I didn't think he looked his best tonight for sure. Like he was playing an injured Federer, who's obviously still better than most of the tour, even when he's injured. But he didn't play his best. He didn't play his tightest. I think he could play at a higher level, and I expect him to in the final versus either Team or Zverev. And I think he's going to have to, especially versus Team. I think that if it was Team he was playing in the first couple sets, he would have lost that. And I think if Federer was at a healthy level, he definitely would have lost that first set, and possibly the second would have been a lot tighter in the whole match. He didn't play his top level tonight. I know he can play better, and I think he will in that final. It's going to be very interesting to see one of the young guns versus Djokovic in the final, and I'm excited. I'm not going to watch the match tonight. Can't keep staying up late. I'm going to miss this one, Team and Zverev, and obviously watch the highlights and everything. And then we're going to be back. We're going to be doing another live match companion for the final with possibly with friend of the show, Beckett Chung. So stay tuned for that. Of course, follow @theslicetennis on Instagram to get entered for the draw to win the Australian Open tee. And thank you guys for your support. Love covering the sport of tennis with you. The Australian Open's been crazy. It was a great tournament for Federer. Lots of weird ups and downs, but he says he still believes he can win more majors. And how could you not when he was at the final of Wimbledon, almost won it, and he got to the semifinals here, like hobbling through the tournament. Crazy stuff going down. Congrats to Djokovic for being in an 8th Australian Open final. Craziness. Has never lost in the Australian Open final. Is this going to be the year, or is he going to get his number 8th? We will have to wait and find out. Thanks for being with us on the slice, folks. We'll see you soon.